Hey guys, good evening. Good evening. This is Tony Pesha and Ruth Mayne coming to you live. I am in New York City and Ruth is in Washington State. How you doing, Ruth, tonight?
Good, good, good. What is it, 6:02 p.m.? It's just getting dark, so the days are getting longer, and I'm liking that. I'm going to start my garden this week indoors, and as today, was a very important day for me because what we're going to talk about tonight actually saved my friend's life today.
Well, absolutely, and that's one of the stories that are going to be, exciting for all of us to hear. I mean, something bad happened, I would say, but everything worked out well. And the story that you guys are going to hear tonight, it's really something that everybody should pay attention to it. But before we get to the story, I just want to ask you a simple question, and I'm sure that lots of people can relate to this. What if you can turn back time, go back in time, what would you do different? And if you could go back in time, why would you do that different? I mean, experience is something that we're getting every single day, and 1 year goes by, 5 years goes by, and then you turn around and you say like, oh my God, I would, do this totally different. And I'm going to ask you that probably you were introduced to quite a few opportunities in your life that you kind of regretted today that you didn't take advantage of it. And I'm guilty as charged. I'm sure Ruth is guilty as charged, and everybody else watching this tonight. But guys, tonight we're going to talk to you about the opportunity that it's present. It's now. It's been changing lives for hundreds and thousands of people worldwide. So pay attention. We're going to share with you some experience, and we're going to share with you a wisdom. And Ruth is great in it because she has such an extensive experience in building this business to the maximum. And I would say maximum. What's a maximum? Well, there is no ceiling here, Ruth, right? As you say. So, guys, pay attention what we're going to be sharing with you tonight. It's really working for us. We definitely hope so that you're going to be at the right time, at the right place in your life, take advantage of it. So you don't feel like kind of 5 years goes by and you turn around and you say like, I wish I can go back in time so I can do things differently. But before we continue, I really want Ruth to share a little bit about herself and why did she chose to work in a home-based business. And then we're going to tell you a story that happened actually a couple of days ago, something that is so relative to our business and something that you should definitely pay attention and take advantage of it while it's here. Ruth?
Well, thank you, Tony, and as always, thank you for including me in this hangout. These are just a ton of fun, and guys, one thing you're going to learn about Tony and I is we're real people. We're touchable, we're reachable, we're accountable, and we're not. We don't feel we're on any pedestal. I put my pants on or my skirt on the same way as any other man or woman. And I actually was raised on a farm. So I know the meaning of hard work, that you don't live on a farm and help animals give birth and milk cows and drive tractors and ride horses and for 10 hours a day and not know what hard work is. But like most of you, I was taught to grow up, get a good education, and go get a good job. And I graduated high school at 15 and a half. I was a smart kid. And I knew where I was going because my mom always told me and everybody in our family that we could accomplish anything that we wanted to accomplish. And I knew I was going to go to school and I was going to become a vet and I was going to do all this great stuff. And then, you get to be a teenager and a young adult and you make stupid moves in your life like we all do. And, so things changed in my life. And it's not like I thought, gee, I'm going to grow up and get into network marketing. That thought never crossed my mind. And like all of you, I was invited to a meeting, and my first company was Amway back in the day. And I thank God for Amway. And in fact, Ron Perrier, the head of Worldwide Dream Builders, just died this last summer. And you know, he took Amway to a whole new height. But I learned something in home-based business that a job couldn't give me, and that was freedom, and that there is no ceiling. You know, a boss is only going to pay you what they're going to pay you. And a boss doesn't care what happens in your life. Like all of you out there, I've had things happen in my lives that changed the course of my life. My oldest daughter fell off of our swing one day when I was out on the hydroplane races. I was a rescue diver in Washington State on Lake Washington for the hydroplane races. And we didn't have cell phones back then, and my pager went off with 911. So they had to take me into shore, where I got on a payphone and found out that my daughter had been rushed to Harborview Hospital with a massive head injury. And 2 years and 2 days later, my youngest daughter was diagnosed with cancer. And you know, my boss wasn't forgiving. He could have cared less. Now, that didn't make him a bad man. He had a business he had to run. I get it. But you know, I never looked back after that. At that moment in time, I swore that no man or woman would ever control if I could put food on the table for my kids. Now, for those of you that are wondering, both of my children lived. My oldest daughter is now in her mid-30s. She is pretty handicapped. She functions at about 9 years old. And my youngest daughter, after 7 years of chemotherapy and remission and everything, she's still in remission. They never say you're cured from cancer. I don't know about that or not, but I can tell you that we're very careful about her life. She's turned into a wonderful young adult, a beautiful young woman who is just incredible. But you know, that altered the course of my life. And that's when I started taking home-based business, Tony, very seriously. And for any of you out there, it doesn't matter whether you graduated high school or you quit school, you can get into home-based business, take it seriously, latch on to your leader, follow the leader if you have a good leader, and you can make millions, literally make millions. And you know, this is the first time I've ever been able to say, in all thankfulness and humility, that a product literally saved my friend's life last night. Literally saved her life. And we'll talk more about that as we go along. But I know Tony wanted to talk about some things that are very important tonight, Tony. So back to you.
Well, you know, Ruth, as we are always doing these calls and the broadcast, it's not just about, you know, a certain presentation that we're going to show numbers and try to impress people with certain products or certain compensation plan or whatever it can be done. I would say it's all of that is irrelevant, but we do have to say that in order for somebody to be successful, and this can apply to, gosh, any type of a business, you are kind of bound to work with a right company, a right members, right program, right timing, right leadership, right team. So in a nutshell, I mean, all of the factors that have to be put together, and the most important thing is to find yourself at the right time that you are ready to do something that you have never done before. And I'm not talking about just to get another side job. I'm not talking about to get something that it's just going to get you busier, not necessarily mean that you're going to be making more money and that's going to be complementing your life. But I'm talking about something that you are going to be able to do while you're doing whatever you're doing right now. And I have no problem or no questions with anybody out there that it's either a doctor or contractor or a clerk or accountant or whatever the job is. It doesn't matter, because I believe today most of the people that they have so-called good jobs, there is a price to be paid with that. And the word is time freedom. Ruth, the word that you said a couple of minutes ago. So how possibly we can have both money and time freedom to enjoy it? Because what's the point of having a lot of money and you have no time whatsoever to enjoy that. And what's the point of having a lot of time freedom and not to have money, because everything costs today, to support that fun that you're going to have, whether if it's a traveling, whether if it's just wake up in the middle of Tuesday and just go back to sleep if you feel like it, or go back to your vacation home in the middle of the woods, and that doesn't have to be a multi-gazillion-dollar home. So, guys, tonight, pay attention to what we have to share with you, because I remember when I started in network marketing, it did actually make sense to me, but I did not see it. I had to see it over and over and over and over again. Some people can get this earlier or faster than I did. It took me literally, Ruth, and I'm not lying, I would say easy 5 years of really, really doing it over and over again. And of course, it came with a lot of the hardship as far as failing and rejections and people telling me you can't do it, it cannot be done, it's a pyramid, it doesn't work. And all of those people were nothing but the dream stealers. You see, everybody has a right for their own dream, whatever their dream is. It doesn't matter if that dream is for you to think about it. One day you're going to be living on the moon and watching over at Earth, and whatever that is. No one has a right to steal that away from you. And those dreams, guys, it's really important to have an understanding that one day it would be unbelievable thing for those dreams to become a reality. And that I'm not talking about how much money you're going to make. I'm not talking about how many houses you're going to have or how many cars you're going to have. But I'm talking about for you being happy. What that really means, only you know the answer. What it would really, really make you happy. Is it living on a little shack somewhere on the beach that you wake up every single morning and, just kind of live around fishes, if you like? Or if it's having a sailboat, then gosh, just travel the coast and then do whatever really, really, really turns you on for you to, when the day comes for us to leave. And I always said this, Ruth, that we all know that you cannot take things with you. But the one thing is that you can take with you, I believe, it's the memories. And that's something that it's beyond comprehension. How much is that worth? So what are the memories you're creating right now? And I'm sure that lots of you out there are really making, great money. But is that something that it really makes you happy? So Ruth, back to you, the story that you just said, what it tells me is that somebody has to be pushed sometimes to the really bottom of not seeing any possible hope out there, but knowing that it's a hope out there, but not seeing it. And that's the only way that you are not going to listen to anybody at all. And you're just going to pick a path. You're going to run that path. You're going to do whatever it takes for you to get out of that issue or problem or situation. And then your dreams will become a reality on the next level of you just getting out of that problem. And those are the times that I believe people make great decisions and great things were developed at those times where the people were pushed against the wall and there is no other way to go but up. So it's a great story, that life story that you have. Mine is not like that, but I always was running after that time freedom. And, I come home and I would watch these great shows that are, let's say, Grammys or the Oscars or whatever it is. And then usually they put them on the Sunday nights where you are like all admiring all of your people that you love. And then you are like all, trying to kind of picture yourself that they are living great lives. And you know what? It was actually bugging me all the time that when 11 o'clock comes around, I got to think about it. I got to go back to work. None of those people have to wake up in the morning on Monday morning and go to work because they have that residual income. They have that, I'm not going to say the time freedom, that, popularity issue, but they have that residual income that is coming in. So they're going to say, like, Monday, okay, so I'm just going to keep on sleeping because I was at the party last night. I cannot do that. But, to go back to our situation here, we do have a product that it's, I believe, really unique. And that product is called HELO. And what it is not what you think it is, because a lot of people would see me on the train and would say, oh, you got one of those, right? And what are they referring to? A Fitbit. And I'm not going to put it down, but it's a starting point of understanding where your body goes. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the first real-time health monitoring system. So Ruth, if you can give us a little bit of a story. I mean, what happened to a friend of ours, to actually my upline, and what the doctor said when they did find out that she was wearing one of those.
Absolutely. I want to start off tonight just by reading a very quick message that I got. Now, this is what I got first thing this morning. Usually when somebody has an emergency, the first thing they want to tell you is what happened. Well, this is not the first thing she told me. This is from Deja, who's your sponsor. She's a very, very good, dear friend of mine. We've never met face to face, Tony, never. But we've worked in direct sales together for years and years and years, and I love her like a sister. I woke up to this. I'm in the hospital because of my heart. Thank God for my HELO. It kept warning me that my blood pressure was spiking and falling to extremes. I took my own ECG and it was not normal. I could see that it was abnormal, and my HELO kept warning me. I came to the hospital and was admitted and had arrhythmia, very high spikes and low, then suddenly dropping low off the charts, confirming that my HELO was right. And then she goes on and on. The first thing that she did was thank God for this product. I don't care who you are out there tonight. A pill, a potion, a lotion. I don't have anything against those. A phone calling plan, a machine that does radio waves. I don't care what it is. Nothing impacts you like this product has impacted her and me. I could have lost a friend this morning. Had she not paid attention to her HELO and she'd not gone to the hospital, she could have died. Well, now, guess what? Now the doctors want to know more about HELO, because it's only because of HELO that she went to the hospital, and it's because HELO told her in big red warning letters, not just you have an abnormal reading, big red warning that something was not right. And she told me the last couple of days she hasn't been feeling good. The doctors now, like I said, want more information on HELO. Folks, this saved her life. 2 weeks ago, it saved one of her downline's life, Margaret. Now, Deja wouldn't know about this product had I not told her about it, so she wouldn't have been wearing it. Margaret would not know about this product had Deja not told her about it, and she would have been wearing it. Both lives have now been saved because of this product directly, because of its real-time monitoring of their heart rate, their breath rate, their EKG, and their blood pressure. And to go a step further, you want to talk about saving lives. In the next 6 or 7 months, HELO, powered by Toshiba, will be releasing the very first and only non-invasive blood sugar monitor in the world. That means diabetics don't have to prick their finger as much to get their blood sugars. Now, Tony, you and I both know people die from diabetes every day, just like they keel over dead from heart attacks, from strokes, from aneurysms, from all kinds of things that can be prevented. HELO does just that. It is the first real-time health monitoring device that can save your life because it puts you in charge of and in front of any problems that are coming down the road that can be foreseen in your vital signs. And I will tell you, I make no secret that I was not a fan of this product a year and a half ago when Fabio first told me about it. I've been with this company almost 3 years now. You know, there's some people out there saying, oh, it's just launching. No, this company's been in the United States for 3 years now. And they didn't start off with HELO. They started off with another product. But I'm going to tell you right now, that other product couldn't save your life. So what does it matter? This product has directly saved the lives of several people just in our group. That's something you can get passionate about. That's something you can get behind. I will never leave home without my HELO now. To me, it's more important than my phone. And now you might say, wait a minute, but with your phone, if you have a problem, you can call somebody. I can call somebody on my HELO because all I have to do is push a button and it will contact up to 3 people and let them know that I have an emergency. Not only that, if I'm incoherent and can't tell them at that point where I am, HELO will give them my exact GPS coordinates. This gives me a better probability of having my life saved. If you're sitting out there tonight listening to this, or you are listening to the replay, I want you to take into consideration a couple things. You do have to be passionate about the product that you get behind. You have to have a company that has all of the aspects that we need to have in a company, from good executive team, a great product, as well as a compensation plan that will pay you. I submit to every single one of you tonight that World has products that are life sensing, that will save the life of yourself or a loved one. And if you can't get behind that, folks, you won't get behind anything. If having the life saved of your child or a friend or a family member doesn't push you to do something different in your life, I don't know what will. I know for me, Tony, it had to be the point where my kids' lives were at stake. And my boss got mad at me because I couldn't show up for work because I was in the hospital with my kids. I know for you, we had a conversation earlier today. And after I told you about Deja, and you were just like, you had a bad day anyway at work, and you just said, I'm going in circles here. It's time to make a change. Folks, don't let it get to the point where someone dies in your life before you make the change. And unfortunately, that's a lot of times what happens. So I'm not asking you, I'm not begging you, but I am pleading with you to have an open mind about what we're talking about here tonight, because it can not only save your life, but financially change your life to the limits like you could never even believe, ever.
Well, here's the thing, Ruth, that I'm seeing it, and this is something that happened to me, happened to you, happened to, I would say, majority of the people worldwide. And why am I calling this call tonight, if you can go back in time? Well, if you could go back in time, and I'm sure that most of us, and I would say all of the normal people out there, would do exactly what I'm saying right now, that if somebody like Microsoft or this guy by the name Bill Gates did approach you in 1986 and told you that he's going to be building one of the biggest companies out there because he has a vision. He was all about understanding where the world is going. And if he would ask you, and I'm sure that a lot of people were introduced to the possibility of investing in Microsoft. But at that time, if anybody invested only $10,000, and I'm not saying that $10,000 is a lot, was a lot, or wasn't a lot. I'm just saying that $10,000 is a number that money would be worth today for probably for that same individual for the generations to be taken care of. That would be in millions. So now it's not a matter did anybody have that, but if somebody knew what it would do to them by simply investing in the company like Microsoft. So now I'm asking you guys a simple question. If you could go back in time again, and just recently, not that long ago, I mean, all of these wearables, the Fitbit and Garmin and Apple Watch, they're just coming out on the market with all these, bells and whistles. But if you were able to go back in time, and if any of these companies did offer you a position of sort of you being a partner of theirs and helping them promote the product worldwide by simply using it and by simply doing exactly what you have been doing, what you're doing every single day, but you are not capitalized on it. They are. I'm sure that if they did offer you a position there, and if you could go back in time to understand where this is going, you would say yes. Well, guys, this is exactly what is happening with HELO. I strongly believe that we are finding ourselves in such a unique time of having the opportunity that 3 to 5 years down the line, people will be talking about this, and somebody's going to tell them with a new product out there, it's going to say the same story. If you could go back in time and somebody offered you a position of a sort of a partnership with this product called HELO, what would you say? And your answer would be exactly yes. Now, here's the thing. If somebody would ask you a $10,000 back then and not being really able to provide a $10,000, which probably a lot of people couldn't, that's why the fear kicked in and said, like, don't do that. We're not asking you that. We're actually asking you tonight simply to join this movement, because this is a movement in something that it's completely new, something that it's so relative to our way of living, and especially living in the world that we are today with all this stress. And I would say majority of the people are not really happy by simply having a job because it's not enough. And I don't really care how much money do you make, because the more you make, you're not becoming wealthier. You're just becoming busier. And that more money is going to put you in a different tax category. And these people did figure out how to keep you down unless you surpass that number of being in millions. Okay, so you pay $1 million in tax. Big deal. You have a $2 million left over. You're still okay. But if you are making $200,000 to $300,000 and you have to pay $100,000 in taxes, and you are left with about $100,000, and you are having a couple of kids in college, and you're trying to buy them a car, and you're trying to kind of secure their life for the future by stashing some money on the side so they can actually pay off their college after they're done, because after they're done, most likely they're not going to be able to find a job, because these colleges are popping up outside like mushrooms. It's becoming a business. So it is not about you getting the proper education for you to, why, God, you know why? I just thought about it. Because they're not teaching the entrepreneurship in colleges. They're teaching us to be a worker. They're teaching us exactly to do what they are planning for us to do in order for them to make more money. And you know what, guys? I'm okay with that. If they can do it, that means they know what they're doing. They're smart in that way. But why we would accept that? Why we would accept it because we need a job? Fine. But why not to do more? And what are we asking you tonight, guys, is very simple. Join for free. And some of you guys are going to see a couple of buttons below the video down there. Just press either one of them and just follow the instructions. And for all of you that don't see those buttons, get back to the person that invited you to this video. And one more important thing. In about 30 minutes or so, Ruth is going to have a specific webcast for a specific reason for you to understand what and how this business can fit into your life with a lot of details. And that is going to be by simply going to www.wgninfo.com. That's www.wgninfo.com. So at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock Eastern time, you can get all the necessary information how you will change your life by simply having the control over your life and having the control over your financial situation. With that being said, Ruth, I think we should definitely close this broadcast by simply saying, it worked for you, it's working for me, and it's working for thousands of people worldwide. The chances are it will work for you as well. Back to you, Ruth.
Well, you know, you said something when we first started, and I was thinking about that. You know, this is the only industry that you can actually fail your way to success.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot fail in this industry if you never quit.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people, myself included, 30 years ago, I didn't understand that when my upline in Amway told me that. He said, if you never quit this industry, the industry will never quit on you. That doesn't mean you're going to be with the same company forever. Companies come and go. Products come and go. And, you know, some people criticize people from going from one company to another. Well, you've been in 3 companies in 30 years and you've not made $1 million. How many jobs have you had in your life? Hello?
Yes.
But this industry can set you free. And this industry, you can fail your way to success. So again, if you have a button below, push it. You know, I'm so passionate about this today. My friend's life was saved, literally. And every time I think about it, I just about come to tears. I wish I was there with her. I really do. She means that much to me. And the fact that a little bracelet saved her life, you can't replace that.
Absolutely.
And it's only $199. So with that, I am going to go get ready for my webinar tonight. I'm going to give my sweetie a kiss. He just walked in the door. My dogs are driving me nuts, and life goes on, right?
Absolutely. And we have lots of fun with this, guys. Good night. We're going to talk to you soon. We're looking forward to meeting you and
Yes.
have you on these webinars to share this incredible story,
Yes.
to share with the world what this can do for you and the rest of the world. Guys, good night. We're going to talk soon. See you at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock, www.wgninfo.com. Bye for now.